In Hoxton Square, which was very rural up until the 18th century, and this square was laid out on the once open Hog's Den Fields, now called Hoxton, and it was on this very field that Ben Jonson, who was a rival of Shakespeare, killed the actor Gabriel Spencer in a duel in 1598. Over in the corner at number 1 is a blue plaque remembering the resident Dr. James Parkinson. In 1755, his work, an essay on shaking palsy, was the first to describe the condition known after him as Parkinson's disease. So that is St Monica's Priory, built by E.W. Pugin, and English Heritage described it as a cheap building with considerable distinction, which I don't think is very nice of them.
Contradiction in terms, I'd say.
Anyway, his dad, Augustus Pugin, is the designer and architect of the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
So I think if you compare that, then this is
Cheap and nasty.
not nasty. So this is an academy for circus performers, and it's based in an 1897 building that used to house the Shoreditch Borough Refuse Destructor and Generating Station. The facade contains the Latin motto El pulver luxet vis, meaning from dust, light and power. And they used to take local waste and generate power for the public baths and street lights. From dust, light.
Is a valuable piece of street furniture for horse-drawn carriages who are racing along here and decide to take a shortcut across, and the wheels go up there and then they pushed out into the road and stop knocking down people who are standing filming it.
This magnificent building is the Passmore Edwards Free Library, built in 1897 by John Passmore Edwards, a Victorian philanthropist who funded over 70 hospitals, libraries, schools and art galleries around the country to give people opportunities to read free books. And it is now the home of the Courtyard Theatre. This facade was the old Gaumont Cinema, opened in 1914 and closed in 1956, and it was one of the earliest cinemas to open in the capital. It's now been converted into a block of flats. Charles Booth, in 1840, in his work Life and Labour of the People of London, described this area as working class. He said, "Poverty is everywhere, with a considerable mixture of the very poor and vicious." Charles Booth, in 1840, in his work Life and Labour of the People of London, described this area as working class. He said, "Poverty is everywhere, with a considerable mixture of the very poor and vicious." What are you saying?
Lumpy.
No. Who's lumpy?
I'm a bit of a
I
grumpy
can
lumpy.
see grumpy lumpy, but that is elegant.
I don't think so.
This is turning into an unpleasant.
Lumpy.
No.
It's solid. It's not elegant. It's solid and lumpy.
Yes.
Not elegant.
So this is a 19th century former industrial building that's now being converted into living space. Oh yeah.
You see the gantry cranes. So they swing out, you
Yeah.
load them up, and then you push the goods into the different floor levels.
Beautiful. This beautiful little garden with the revolving clock was created by a British Gambian photographer and artist called Khadija, who unfortunately died in the Grenfell Tower, and they've named this now after her. So it's called Khadija's Garden, so she'll never be forgotten. She created this public space. It's really beautiful. never know it, but this block of flats used to be the Britannia Saloon and renamed the Britannia Theatre, and then opposite it you've got the Macbeth pub. Going to be so amazed at the next fact when I find it.
I'm going to love it.
You're going to love it.
I'm already loving it.
Don't love it too much. It's not here yet. Keep going. On Hoxton Street on the left hand side, look out for a plaque on the side of a block of flats relating to the Guy Fawkes gunpowder plot. Do you see it?
I see it.
The flats stand on the site of the house of William Parker, the 4th Lord Monteagle, who received the anonymous letter on October the 26th, 1605, warning him not to attend Parliament on November the 5th because King James the First and others attending shall receive a terrible blow, the Parliament, and yet they shall not see who hurts them. He then informed on the plotters and they searched blah blah blah, you know the rest. Amazing. This whole block of flats used to be the St Leonard's Workhouse, and then over here is St Leonard's Hospital, which came out of the Workhouse Infirmary, and there were 2 wards that James Parkinson, who used to live in Hoxton Square, he was in charge of it in 1813, and he created separate male and female wards, and he also had a separate fever block for infectious patients.
Fever! Got the fever, fever all through the night.
Give me fever! You give me fever! You give me fever! You give me fever! I don't think James Parkinson would have liked that. Poor little bunny Edith Cavell was a matron here at the Shoreditch Infirmary, executed in Belgium by the German firing squad for assisting injured soldiers in World War One.
And the Brits made a big propaganda thing about the evil Germans murdering in
Well, it was quite shitty, wasn't it?
well, it was really.
So this is the Jeffrey Museum, and it's 14 former almshouses built in 1714 by the Ironmongers Company and funded by Sir Robert Jeffrey, a former Lord Mayor of London. And for almost 200 years, these almshouses have provided shelters? How many shelters? Shelter for about 50 pensioners. That could be you, Dad.
I'm there.
And here we are at Hoxton Overground, which is the end of our walk. And I hope you had a lovely time. Did you have a lovely time?
Lovely time.